It is 6 o'clock. We'll call this meeting of the Richland County Board to order and ask the clerk to take our roll, please.
Harrow,
Here.
Miller,
Here.
Schoonover,
Here.
Kramer, here, McKee,
Here.
Engel,
Here.
Hendricks, here, Manning, Thompson, here, Nolan,
Here.
Harry,
Here.
Turk,
Here.
Cosgrove, Frank,
Here.
Severson,
Present.
Williamson,
Here.
Bowie,
Here.
Fleming, here, McGuire.
Here.
A quorum, sir.
Do we have anyone present for the invocation tonight?
Yes.
Please. You can introduce yourself.
Yes. Hi, I'm Michelle Elfers, pastor at St. John's Lutheran Church here in town. And first, I just wanted to say, I bet like me, a lot of you hear a lot of complaints and criticisms, sometimes, helpful tips or whatever, but not knowing the whole story behind all the hard work you all put in. So I want to thank you all for the work you do to help keep our county running smooth. Let us pray. Gracious God, we thank you for your love. Thank you for the gifts and talents and the abilities you've given everybody here. We ask that you bless this meeting and help all present to work together to be able to love our neighbors as ourselves and to prove each day and make better Richland County. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are we in compliance with the open meetings law?
It was really noticed, sir.
Good. We have before us a 25-point agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Motion by Supervisor Frank, second by McKee. All those in favor say aye. 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 Opposed? We have our agenda. Item 7 is approval of minutes from the February 17th County Board meeting. Anyone have notes, corrections, changes needed to those February 17th minutes? Hearing none, the chair declares those minutes to be approved as presented. Item number 8, public comment. Have any members of the public here to comment to the board tonight? Not receive any forms ahead of time? I have a couple of people. Okay, why don't you go first, please stand, introduce yourself and tell us where you're from.
Yeah, hi, I am Sarah Hunt. I live here in Richland Center, and my family lives on land that has the current dairyland power lines behind. And I just wanted to request that the board adopt the resolution for more information on this 765 kilovolt lines. I have a lot of concerns about the impact that this could have in our community. A lot of them, I've done a lot of research on this, and some of the concerns that I have are the proximity of these lines being so close to animals that we have on our property, as well as buildings. There are issues of electric shocks and arcing, which is more concerning when they are going to be near our animals. There are just the potential impact of future development, where this could grow into even bigger projects that would have an even bigger increase in the right of way on the land. And there's also a loss of revenue in our community because people aren't going to want to build near these lines. They aren't considered beautiful, and we live in an extremely beautiful area. There's also an increase in accidents with cars and animals because animals don't like to be near these lines. It fragments and the current habitat for them, and it also brings about habitat loss. And so now you have animals that are scattered about more, and they're having more encounters with cars, which is not preferable. And there's a potential noise level of these lines that can reach 60 decibels, which is twice the maximum of what is permitted. And that's not going to be pleasant to live next to. And if you can imagine having these power lines on your property and then trying to sell this property, that's going to be a huge issue. And lastly, I have a lot of concerns about there actually being money, not for the power lines themselves, but for the projects that these power lines are supposed to be powering. Right now, the private credit market is having a lot of red flags. There's a huge rush right now for redemptions in this market. There's not a lot of liquidity in that market, but people are rushing to try to pull their money out. It signals a huge issue. Private equity is also showing some cracks. I question whether the funds are even going to be available for whatever projects that these lines are supposed to go and bulk power. Thank you.
Next up, go ahead, please.
Hello, I'm Connie Chambliss and I live in Aiken Township, and I want to encourage the board to adopt the resolution regarding getting information. I think that's a very good step for the board to learn more about an issue that may have, as this woman said, a lot of impact in our community. So thank you for considering the resolution tonight.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the board, public comment? Yes, go ahead, please.
I'm Valerie Mansion. I'm also in Aiken Township, and I just want to echo what these two women have just said. We live across the highway from a current existing transmission line, so this will affect us too. I don't know if people know the bigger issue about companies targeting Wisconsin for data centers, and there are other companies that are buying up land near water and states and areas where they feel there is excess electricity. And then these companies bundle the land, the water, and the electric power and sell it to companies like Google and Amazon and Microsoft for their data centers, which have their own whole set of issues you're probably all aware of. So thank you for hopefully adopting the resolution to demand more information from TransSource. We would really be helped by that, knowing exactly what their plans are and when they want to implement them and where these lines are going to go.
Anyone else wish to address the board? Here in person or online? Seeing no others, we'll continue on the agenda. Item number 9, appointments to various boards, committees, and commissions.
Something, sir.
Yeah, none this month, okay. Item 10, ordinance relating to parcel 008-0841-3000.
This will be ordinance number 26-6, amendment no,
641.
sorry, number 641 to the Richland County Court of Ordinances, chapter 119 zoning related to the parcel 008-0841-3000. The following described 2.3 acre parcel in the town of Dayton is hereby rezoned from Ag Forestry AF to Residential R District. This ordinance shall be effective on its passage and publication. This ordinance was offered by the Natural Resources Standing Committee on 2 March 2026.
All right, that is our ordinance. Do I have a motion, please? Motion by Mr. McKee, second by Mr. Cooey. And discussion.
I can give a little background. This is another case where the residence is being split off from the remaining parcel, which will remain export and will remain larger than 35 acres. But this is where it's going to be sold, so it has to change to residential.
But do you have questions on the proposed change? Not all in favor of the ordinance, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? That ordinance is adopted. Moving on to item 11, ordinance relating to parcel 006-3231-2000.
This will be ordinance number 26-7, amendment number 642 to the Richland County Code of Ordinances, chapter 119, that the following described 10 acre parcel in the town of Buena Vista is hereby rezoned from commercial C to the ag residential AR district. This ordinance shall be effective on passage and publication. This ordinance was offered by the Natural Resources Standing Committee on 2 March of 2026.
Right, you've heard the ordinance. Do I have a motion? Motion by Supervisor Perry, second by Cooey. And background on this one.
You know, this is a case where the parcel was formerly a junkyard. New owners want to have it just regular residence, but have a few animals, so it needs to be rezoned to ag residential.
Questions on this one? None. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Ordinance is adopted. Brings us to agenda item 12, reports, starting with our county administrator report.
So I did have my report in the packet, but a couple of highlights. We had the campus redevelopment project open house last week on Thursday. I believe that went well. It was well attended and people were coming with lots of questions and also sharing lots of ideas. So that was great for SEH to gather that input. The next step with the project is to submit requests for interest. So they will be putting those out to see what people are interested in doing out at the campus. And those will be reviewed at the end of April. The ambulance study continues, and as of right now, the plan is that it will be presented at the Executive and Finance Committee meeting on March 30th. And the final update that I have is the ambulance staff have approved the creation of a union. If no objections are received within 8 days of the vote, which was on March 12th, WERC will issue the certification of representative.
Questions for the county administrator?
I just want to say, the last meeting, when I brought up the issue of communication with the county board, the way that was framed in the executive committee was on the county administrator alone. Well, my intent when it asked that question was not either the county administrator or the county board chair. But I did hear that meeting, and I'm convinced it's not the administrator. But so I do think we should have a discussion about county board chair and communication with the staff at some point. But I wanted to clarify that wasn't an attack.
Questions for the administrator? County board chair report. In the last month or so, I've attended obviously facilities planning meetings, executive meetings. On the 24th of February was in Platteville for the quarterly regional planning commission meeting and meeting of the workforce development board council, they call it, I guess. Was appointed to the nominating committee for officers for the Regional Planning Commission. So that'll be a meeting in May that they pull together for us to nominate officers for the Regional Planning Commission board. Last night I was attending the Madison Area Technical College Appointment Committee as the county board chair, with representing an area that they serve on that, and was one of 4 board chairs to make it. The Dane County board chair is the chair of that committee. I was there, the Jefferson County chair and the South County chair. So there were 4 of us that attended, and they had actually more nominees for slots on their board of trustees than they had open slots. So wound up being about an hour-and-a-half meeting before we finally got through all the applicants and moved forward some nominations. So it was a reappointment of one board member to the MATC board, and a couple of new ones that were taking office. So it was a good meeting. Any questions for the board chair?
I have one.
Yes, go ahead.
The county board, I raised this before, but I'd like to raise it again and see what other supervisors said. There's a county board chair with a big responsibility. The report you just gave showed that. There's a lot of work to be done. It's almost a $60 million budget, or maybe a little over, with all the departments and all the stuff that goes on with it. And you're also chair of the video committees. And the campus committee.
Campus redevelopment
And the
facilities plan.
facilities planning, right? So that all of that stuff to be a chair, you have to review the agenda, set the agenda, respond to it and all that. I tend to think, if you look at the campus, right, it would be 3 years in May. Since we're, of all the campuses that closed, we're the last ones to figure out what to do with the land so far. So I'm not pointing fingers at that committee and saying they're doing a bad job. I'm just saying there's it might be too much on your plate and you'd be better served if there was less on your plate.
Don't disagree with you.
I would, that's why I'm interested in, I had sent you an email saying, you know, I think maybe we should ask those committees to reelect other chairs.
That's part of our rules update tonight.
So that's gonna be on there?
Yep, that is one of the rules updates we'll be voting on tonight, so
Could you tell me what that is so I can clear?
it's,
So the three things that we're trying to take off of, well, not necessarily take off the plate, but for the ad hoc committees to, when we do the reorganization, to revote for the chair and vice chair. So that's the county facilities and the campus reconfiguration. And then the rules of the board also remove the board chair as the vice chair of executive and finance, if that's all approved tonight.
and also clarifies that for the Simons board, it doesn't have to be the board chair, it can be board chair or designee.
That would resolve what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Have we gotten that $2 million that the state has offered at all? I've been out of the loop here for a couple of months and I haven't heard anything. I was just wondering if we've ever gotten that.
Status of the redevelopment grant for the campus property.
So we're still in the works with them. They sent us a draft contract. There were some questions that we had about it. They are working on making some adjustments to the contract and then we'll send it back to us after it's reviewed by their legal team. So we're still working on it. Was approved, we just need to finalize everything.
It's getting down to the details of the paperwork.
Yes. And one of the hard things that we're having with it is when we got quotes for the projects, that was done in 2025, some of it fairly early in 25. We know the costs are going up, so I just want to make sure that we have that flexibility that in the end, we might not be able to do everything that we would like to do. And I want to make sure that we're not held accountable to do everything and have to backload it with county funds.
So original guidance we were given was come up with all kinds of stuff to make sure you spend plenty of money. But in the contracts, it may have appeared that we were committing to do all that stuff, even if it exceeded the $2 million. And we didn't want to get stuck with that. So, Mr. Frank.
Was this a reimbursement grant?
Yes.
Okay, so we had to actually spend the money to get reimbursed for it, so we couldn't even get the money until we knew what we were exactly going to be spending it on. Thank you.
We've already spent the money on the bridge, which is part of that grant, so we'll be getting that back.
Correct.
All right, Mr. McGuire.
Question, is our corporate counsel online?
Yes, Corp Council is online.
Okay, so if we have a question, we can ask.
Yep,
Okay, thank you.
absolutely. Questions for the board chair? We'll move on. Legislative update is item C under reports. Do we have any legislative representatives in attendance tonight? Doesn't appear we do. We will move on to item 13, a resolution requesting information regarding the potential 765 kilovolt transmission line development by TransSource LLC.
This would be resolution number 26-7. Now therefore be it resolved that the Richland County Board of Supervisors hereby request that TransSource provide the following information either in written, electronic format, or through in-person presentation before our board before March 16 of 2026. And sir, there are 12 different items that they're requesting. Do you want me to read them all?
No, you don't.
Okay, this resolution was offered by the Natural Resources Standing Committee on 2 March of 2026.
Okay, you've heard the resolution. Do I have a motion? Motion by Supervisor Hendricks, second by Supervisor Nolan. And discussion. This came out of Natural Resources, right?
Could I give some background on this?
Yes.
First off, we need to make that correction. When we were working on this in committee, we actually took 2 months. So that March 16th obviously is not correct. We need to move that to April or May date. But other than that, if you haven't heard, MISO has proposed a new transmission line through Driftless out Portage and then south towards Illinois. This would be larger than any transmission line that's been done in Wisconsin to date. And so my neighbors, other townships have all started hearing about it. Dairyland was awarded the section from Minnesota to Bell Center. For Bell Center on east was awarded to TransSource, which is a company out east. And so there's a lot of concern, but really at this point, we just want to make sure they know the kind of information residents want so that when public input phase starts, they're better prepared to answer the kind of questions we'll have. So this is a resolution getting that going so that we're asking them the kind of questions that we want to hear answers to. Just so you know, other counties have already had resolutions passed. Crawford County passed one. Vernon actually has 3 different resolutions on their agenda for Thursday night. And several townships have passed their own resolutions and passed those on. So a lot of people are trying to get the information and hopefully TransSource will respond and we'll see who goes from there.
So what I'm hearing you say is we do need to make an amendment to that date.
The date is, yeah.
Okay, so when would our May county board be?
April 21st to May 19th.
May 19th, if we were shooting for the May one? I have a motion to make, Mr. Schoonover.
I'll make a motion to make it the 19th of May.
Okay, so we have a motion to amend the resolution to read that the presentation before the board before May 19th. I have a second for that. Second by Supervisor Kramer. Discussion on the amendment. Clear on why we're doing that because we're already meeting in March. All right, all in favor of the amendment changing it to May 19th, please say aye.
All right.
Opposed? All right, so back to the motion as amended. The resolution that's before us, Mr. Perry.
In committee, I didn't speak out in opposition to this resolution, but I don't care for the way it's worded. If you read it, you might think that the county board has already decided they're against transmission line before it's even been discussed here. But I will not, well, I have too much history in the electric industry to be against a transmission line. Just on the basis of the transmission line. But I will support getting more information because information is what drives decisions. And we need to know all we can know. But just so people know, I'm not really in favor of this yet.
Mr. McKee.
It's my understanding, even if we are against it, it's gonna happen anyway. That's my understanding.
But as Supervisor Perry pointed out, this is a request for information.
Right, I know.
Other comments, questions? Anybody else on the board with comments or questions on this resolution? Hearing none, we will move forward with the vote. All in favor of this resolution requesting information, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Resolution is adopted. All right, item 14, a resolution proclaiming April 2026 as Missing Persons Awareness Month.
This would be resolution 26-8. Now therefore be it resolved that the governing body hereby proclaims April 26 as Missing Persons Awareness Month and encourages residents community organizations, and public safety agencies to participate in efforts that promote awareness, support families of the missing, and strengthen cooperation in the search for missing persons. This resolution was offered by the Executive and Finance Standing Committee on 10 March of 2026.
Thanks. Solution is before you. Do I have a motion, please? Motion by Kramer, second by McKee. And discussion.
So we were approached by the Wisconsin Missing Person Advocacy Group that we do a proclamation that April is Missing Person Awareness Month. As Miranda explained, really just wanting to bring attention to this.
Questions on this resolution? All those in favor of adoption, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Adopted that resolution. Item 15, a resolution awarding opioid settlement fund grants to applicants providing for the prevention, treatment, and/or recovery of opioid drug use.
This would be resolution 26-9. Now therefore be it resolved by the Richland County Board of Supervisors that the Richland County Department of Health and Human Services is hereby authorized to award opioid settlement fund grants to the following: Richland County Treatment Court in an additional amount of $5,000 for attendance at the 2026 National All Rise Conference in order to gain knowledge from other rural communities on best practices to better support the individuals served. And be it further resolved that this resolution should be effective immediately upon passage and publication. That this resolution is offered by the county board members of the Community and Health Services Standing Committee on 5 March of 2026.
So resolution, do I have a motion? Motion by McKee, second by Nolan. And discussion.
Savannah Esteve, I believe, Health and Human Services is part of the treatment court team to present.
All right, so I'm Savannah Huber. I'm the treatment court coordinator currently. I was here back in November, I believe, where the initial request that I had for the opioid fund was approved by county board. I was basing all of my numbers off of the previous year, when Iowa County had went. So after getting the official numbers for health, hotel costs, lodging, registration, the increase that I'm needing is just 5,000, which reflects, like I mentioned, the registration and the lodging. Without this, will in theory be way under budget. The hope is though to still, after everything is said and done, to be under the whole big allotted amount that we're reported.
Board members have questions. Mr. Severson, go ahead.
The registration to this, where this conference that you're going to in the hotel room equals out to about $5,000.
Over and above what we approved before, is that correct?
Correct. Yep.
It's for, I believe, 8 or 10 individuals. So.
We reviewed it at the committee level and they didn't get a chance to go last year. It's a really important event for people to learn to work together as well as receive the latest information. So that's why our recommendation is unanimous.
County board discussed this in the past also. And I did, yeah, so.
Where is this one in?
Nashville.
Other questions? There are none. All in favor of the additional $5,000, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Resolution's adopted. Item 16, a resolution to approve changes to the Handbook of Personnel Policies and Work Rules of Richland County.
This would be resolution number 26-10. Now therefore be it resolved by the Richland County Board of Supervisors approves the proposed changes to the Handbook of Personnel Policies and Work Rules of Richland County, and be it further resolved that this resolution be effective upon passage. This resolution is offered by the Executive and Finance Standing Committee on 23 February of 2026.
Motion by Supervisor Perry. I have a second. Second by Supervisor Frank. And discussion.
So last year we did a lot of updates to the handbook, but as time goes on, we noticed other things that needed to be updated. Here are three things that I'm asking you to update. First is on outside employment. Currently, how our handbook is worded only references if employment outside of the county has a impact to current county employment. We also want to make it clear if your second job is also within the county and it impacts your job performance, that the county has the ability to step in and say, we don't support that. And they can do one or the other. The second one is to add clarification in the vacation language that if we have part-time employees working more than 20 hours, but less than 35, their vacation will be prorated. And the third thing is we need to remove a line that states employees whose probation period are extended. These are current employees who get a second or get a promotion within the county, are extended or not eligible to receive their post-probation salary increases until the end of their probation period. We currently do not have salary increases at the end of the probation period, so we're asking for that line to be removed from the handbook.
Any questions on the proposed changes? Seeing any, all those in favor of adopting these updates, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Resolution's adopted. Moving on to item 17, resolution establishing salaries for the sheriff, clerk of court, and coroner.
This would be resolution number 26-11. Now therefore be it resolved by the Richland County Board of Supervisors that the following annual salaries are hereby established for the office of sheriff, clerk of circuit court, and coroner for the terms for those offices which are to start in January of 2027. Sir, I presume you do not want me to read the entire, you have the rest of it?
You are correct.
I will point out in this section for under coroner, the last sentence, it had a 4% increase over the 2029 salary. It says 96,271.35. That's a typo. It should be 8,652.80.
Okay. Correct. That is a typo.
And be it further resolved that this resolution should be effective upon its passage. This resolution is offered by the Executive and Finance Standing Committee on 10 March of 2026.
Resolution. Do I have a motion, please? Motion by Kramer, second by Hendricks. And discussion.
So this was reviewed at Executive and Finance at two different meetings. One thing I do want to make note that the proposal that is before you tonight places the sheriff's salary and the clerk of court salary towards the top of the scale. When you look at comparables, typically we fall either below. We know we want to be above that. We want to fall in the middle, but I do worry the precedence that is set if our elected officials are going to be at the top of the scale.
Questions from the board? Supervisor Hendricks, go ahead.
I just want to point out that I'm very pleased with our clerk of courts just because I went to Wisconsin Counties Association convention and ours spoke and she really is at the top of her game. And I just think we need to recognize how lucky we are to have such a good individual that improves on her job consistently and is doing a really good job for us. I just wanted to recognize that because I really enjoyed the presentation. And I know when she spoke, you know, about her position here in the county, only some of the people got to hear that because it was just done at Executive and Finance. And I feel in the future, I hope those presentations from department heads can be done at this meeting so everybody gets to hear how well they are doing and what they have done for us because we are very blessed with this position. So I just wanted to say that.
Other questions or comments from the board? Supervisor Thompson, go ahead.
I could add to that too with the clerk of circuit court, just knowing from her email that she had sent, showing that she's trained all of those out there. So she's far above what those would be valued at because not only did she train them, but I feel like, you know, if we do have a rock star in our county, let's keep a rock star in our county.
Other questions or comments? Those who didn't go back and watch the discussion, we had executive and finance. The percentages were debated at some length. We noted that there seemed to be a pattern of playing catch up in the first year of each of the 4 years that we're setting the salary for. So there was an intentional decision by the committee to make those subsequent increases a little bit higher in hopes that when you get to 2031, it doesn't have to be as big a jump as 10%. Any other comments? If there are none, we will vote. All those in favor of this resolution setting these salaries, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Resolution adopted. Item 18, resolution approving amendments to the Richland County Rules of the Board.
This would be resolution 26-12. Now therefore be resolved by the Richland County Board of Supervisors that approval is hereby granted to accept the proposed revisions and adopt the revised Richland County Rules of the Board. And be it further resolved that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage. This resolution is offered by the Executive and Finance Standing Committee on 10 March of 2026.
Resolution, do I have a motion, please? Motion by Frank, second by Perry. And discussion.
All right, so we reviewed at the last two Executive and Finance Committee meetings, and I will highlight the changes. On page 3, under County Board Meeting Agenda Responsibilities, we will add the board chair shall determine the liaison committee for any future agenda items proposed for county board. On page 4, under ad hoc committees, at the time of the reorganization, we would include updating the chair and the vice chair appointments for those ad hoc committees. We talked about that earlier. When you go to page 7, board member.
Where is that again?
Is on page 4, under 2.04, committees of the county board and other boards and commissions. On page 7, under the board member interest forms, we just clarified it's within 7 days after election results are certified. On page 10, I had a little Irish in me that day and the Robert's Rule order instead of order. So we updated that. On page 11, for county board chair, we added that the board chair or vice chair may serve as a member on the committees if quorum is not present. We did remove under county board chair on page 11 also that he is automatically the vice chair of the Executive and Finance Committee. On page 12, for remote attendance at meetings, we added that if you miss roll call to be notifying the county administrator and or the county clerk if they miss roll call and you are online. Sometimes we are missing when people are online and they don't connect for roll call. So we just want to clarify that we have everybody in attendance. And those were the updates that were proposed.
Questions on the proposed updates?
No question,
Mr. Perry?
Chair, but when I got the information, the packet, I downloaded the rules, printed them, and read them. It took me an hour and a half to go through all of the rules for the county board.
Yep.
It's worthwhile to do.
It is indeed.
If you're gonna serve on this board, you ought to know what the rules are. That's all.
Thank you.
Under section 301, county board chair, I am wondering whether or not we should add them in something that, like when significant events occur, that impacts public, county board chair, and county board prior to the public being notified.
That would imply the county board chair knew about it before the board did.
Yeah. Well, true.
For the public.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that specifically in terms of the water at Pine Valley and the possible loss of the building at campus. There could be other things like, I think somebody said last time, air conditioning going out, and we have to move people. Those significant events is what I'm talking about.
We did talk about this at Executive and Finance, and there was a lot of discussion over what constitutes a significant event. We kind of went back and forth on that. The other problematic thing about a county board chair doing that is if a county board chair is sending communication to all board members, you could potentially trip over a walking quorum, and you don't want to run afoul of anything like that. And that's where in the past we've had the administrator do communications to board members when there is some kind of mass notification needed. I don't know if council has any opinion on that.
I agree that it would potentially constitute a walking quorum.
Oh, to do that?
Yeah. Could a constitutional officer give that report to county board supervisors other than an employee of the county board?
Depending on,
I guess that would be for corporation counsel to ask.
I think we're saying that the county administrator could still put that information out, but the county board chair could.
And I was asking if a constitutional officer is allowed to do the same thing that we're asking the county administrator to do in lieu of the county administrator giving that to the county board.
I know in past situations, our county clerk has sent out communications to board members when we all needed to know something. So it's not that it couldn't happen, and as far as I know anyway.
That's the answer I was looking for.
So we could do it. Because I do think it's important to have, if we have a leadership body like the county board, to be informed and not have our constituents calling us and knowing what we do.
To the extent that's avoidable, I don't disagree with you. But we had also a lot of discussion in executive and finance about when you have a question about something that's going on in the county, even us as board members, our first stop should be the county administrator. Get a call into Trish and say, hey, what's going on? To try to figure it out, and encouraging that our constituents have that ability too, that if they ever have a question, they can certainly ask. Whether something rises to the level of what we would say is a significant event, just using the building at the campus as an example. Not an active building. There are no employees based in that building. It didn't impact the operation of the county business on that particular day, other than it took our maintenance crews time to clean up. If that same thing had happened over across the street at HHS, the impact would have been vastly different.
The negativity of that one though, because it's been so long, 3 years, people are wondering whether that was just a rumor mill. It's really nasty about that stuff. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. Things like, oh, look what the county did. They let that building go on purpose, right? I mean, you can't defeat some of that stuff, but some of the notification is just common sense. And somebody needs, I think, we need to have somebody do it. Or at least try.
Supervisor Thompson.
I want to add that, I know with other boards that I serve on, if something happens with a student or anything happens that way, we're always given heads up so that we're ahead of it above the public. And even if it is questions of different things, we can always be given, like, if you're asked this question, here's what your response should be, so that we all answer in unison. So it looks like we all are together and we all know what's going on, and not be caught off guard and then like, well, why don't you know? Or, things like that. It just helps to have the unity with everyone. It takes a minute to shoot out an email, a few things, shoot out an email to everybody. And then it looks like we actually do know what we're talking about. It gives the county a higher standard.
Mr. Frank.
Thank you. So I guess if we're going to look at that, we need to set some type of criteria, what that's going to be. I got some of the people that had voted for me sent me pictures of the campus and said, what is this or what's going on? There was a hole in the ground and stuff. And so I made the comment, I'll find out. I found out and I got back to them that there was a water line break. And that solved it. Can I stop the people that are going every foolishness they want to go on and pretend and make up? No, I can't, and I never will. But when I've been asked questions, and I got a question the other day about what's going on with the fair this year, I'll find the answer, I'll get it, and I'll respond. I haven't had any problems with that because I've responded to them and they send me information and I share it back. I do understand, and years ago, we did have some major flooding, we had some major incidents, and I think everybody was notified of those. They were coming, those incidents were developing. So I've been very pleased with the communication I've had at this point.
Other questions or comments? Before us, the suggested changes to the rules of the board. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor of the rules being amended as specified, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion's adopted. Item 19, a resolution approving amendments to Appendix A, the committees and other boards and commissions.
This would be resolution number 26-13. Now therefore be it resolved by the Richland County Board of Supervisors that their proposed amendments to Appendix A, committees and other boards and commissions are approved, and be it further resolved that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage. This resolution is also offered by the Executive and Finance Standing Committee on 10 March of 2026.
Heard the resolution. Is there a motion, please? Motion by McKee, second by Cooey. And discussion.
All right, so this also was reviewed at Executive and Finance at the last two meetings. I will go over the updates. Under the Executive and Finance Standing Committee, we removed the Joint Ambulance Committee and the Lone Rock Library Committee. Under Community and Health Services, we added provides oversight of and reviews budget performance of Pine Valley Community Village. And we removed Pine Valley Committee. Under the Natural Resources Committee, we updated statute to be 9101, sub 2, sub A, it was sub 2, or excuse me, it was 0.02, so we did get that updated. Under Public Works, we added provides oversight of and reviews budget performance of the county parks and remove the County Parks Committee. Under Public Safety, we added board liaison for ambulance services. On page 5, under the Richland Center Park Board, we added one county board member appointed by the administrator and confirmed by the county board. On page 6, under the Simons Natatorium Board, it's 3 members. One is county board chair or their designee. So those were the updates that are being presented.
Any questions or comments on the updates to our committees?
What was the Pine Valley one again?
So there was a Pine Valley committee that met monthly. And that was, the proposal was made to remove the Pine Valley Committee because they also are reporting to Community and Health Services. So Pine Valley Committee, I would say, would be more advisory, where the Community and Health Services is the one that voted on policies, procedures, resolutions, those things.
So that it'd still be a committee meeting?
Through the Community and Health Services Committee. It wouldn't be a standalone as it was.
Okay.
Other questions? There are none. All in favor of the resolution, please say aye. Aye. When opposed? That resolution is adopted. Moving on to item 20, a closed session. The chair may entertain a motion to enter closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statutes 19.85, (1) conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved. Need a motion to move into closed session for that specific purpose. A motion by Supervisor Perry, second by Supervisor Schoonover. And to go into closed session, we will do a roll call vote, please.
Thompson? Aye. Nolan?
Yeah, aye or nay?
Sorry.
Sorry. Perry?
Aye.
Turk?
Aye.
Cosgrove? Frank?
Yes, aye.
Severson?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Cooey?
Aye.
Fleming?
Aye.
McGuire?
Aye.
Harrow? Miller,
Aye.
Schoonover,
I would say.
Kramer.
Aye.
McKee,
Aye.
Engel. Hendricks. It is unanimous, sir.
Right, we'll move into closed session while we move folks out here. Hang out for just a second. We are taking no action from the closed session. So that brings us to item 23 on the agenda, which is correspondence.
There has been several items of correspondence, sir. There was several items that were sent to the county board, and one this afternoon, a news article that's regarding the line. So this one is the only one that is not in the packet. It will be later. The other items were uploaded.
Collection of newspaper clippings about the transmission line with a
Correct.
handwritten note that requested us to share it at the REC annual meeting for some reason. I don't know. Might have got the wrong note on the wrong envelope or something, but came addressed to the county board chair with no return address. That's it as far as correspondence. All right. Future agenda item. Want to see for future agenda items? Mr. McGuire.
Is it too late to ask a question about item number 22?
To the action from closed session.
Yeah,
We are taking no action after closed session.
but I have a question. Not to take action though, but a question.
If it's about the closed session, that's a question that should be asked in closed session.
Okay, then forget it.
Okay.
Oh, is this the last meeting for some of us?
That's where I was going next, Carrie. Thank you. This is the last meeting of this board before the election takes place. So next time this board convenes, there will be new members. And so we want to thank those members who are not seeking re-election, who have served us, and appreciate very much your service to the citizens of Richland County. Thank you for your contributions over the last couple of years. And just, can we give them a round of applause to say thank you? For those that will be continuing, our next meeting is coming up on April 21st. Meeting of the new county board constituted after the election. Do I have a motion to adjourn? 6 o'clock, yes. Motion to adjourn from Supervisor Kramer, second by Supervisor Fleming. All those in favor say aye.
Yeah.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.